Oh, I forgot to change. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I need to check Twitch. All right, who's confused? Who's confused? Let's see, update, we're live building. Actually, that'll work. All right, what's up, guys? It's freaking hot in here. Hotter than hell. All right, who are we gonna get in this chat? Who are we gonna get here? How's it going, Darth Tater, Frozen, iLord? What's up, guys? Yeah, this is very much a surprise stream, just like when we were building the other day at Micro Center. Who all was there for that, by the way? Yeah, we made it back from Phoenix. We're live in one piece. That's all we can really ask for. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, right now it is 6:12 p.m. our time, and I know I'll probably say this a few more times, but the reason I'm here late is I wanted to finally build a PC for a short. So that's really the main reason I'm doing this. I need to do a short where I'm showing people how to build a PC in like 3 minutes or less. So I think this would be a good time. What's up, Effin' Rabbit, Roman, Darth Tater? Oh, it's Verb. How was the plane ride? I definitely had a few panic attacks, but I made it. I can't say that my thing is I still don't really, I'm not the biggest traveler. I don't love traveling. So there's already that. So I'm already not like ecstatic about going to wherever it is that I'm going. Like, I don't think I can name anywhere in the world that I'm like, oh, I really want to go there. I don't know. I'm very content. I like Louisville. You know, some people's hobbies are traveling and stuff like that. Mine's not really that. I don't know if it ever will be, maybe. But yeah, the biggest thing is I'm just like terrified of planes. I mean, I know I can do it. I did it. But I definitely don't look forward to doing it again. But I know I will. What's up, Mayakins? But yeah, this is actually a PCBros build. Shout out to Taylor. Taylor bought this is a premium streamer? Yep, premium streamer. And I think they got a couple upgrades. Let's see. They did. They got, well, actually, I think the 1 terabyte might be standard. So yeah, they bought our premium streamer, which is the 14400F, 5060 Ti, 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM, 1 terabyte NVMe SSD. Yep. Oh wow, you're going to Vegas and you had to stop in Phoenix because I said something was going on with an engine. Oh, see, like I hate that. Since then, I've been really iffy on getting one of them to fly. Yeah, that's what I think freaks me out the most about planes is like, I think it's my lack of trust now. Well, as a kid, I flew all the time, never thought anything about it. In my mind, it's like, you know, it's so rare anything goes wrong with planes. But it's just like one of those things where it's like the fact that it could, and I realized like planes are just like really, really over-engineered, like cars, boats, you know. Thank you for the sub from Nick T. We got 6 months of subbery. Thank you. What's up, Moneybags? Vegas needs a Micro Center, holy. Hey, just drive from Phoenix. Oh, so I was gonna open something cool that I got on stream. So, well, it says my address right on the front. Let's scribble that out. Oh, who put that table there? Yeah, so this is something that's really random, by the way, chat. Like, you guys are just gonna be like, what? So this is a custom skateboard. You heard me right. Custom skateboard. 8-hour drive. Yeah, don't do it. Not worth it. So I'm not gonna say I got into skateboarding recently because I have not. I've only used I had a custom board made. I guess it's really not that custom. I guess all boards are custom made. What am I saying? I went to a local skate shop, had them make me a board. It was like a $200 build, $220, and I don't know. I thought it was really cool. I really like anything that's wood. So I found a website where you can make custom boards, and I was like, ooh, I think I paid like 60 bucks, and I had a PCBros board made. So we're gonna unbox it on stream. I've not seen it yet. It could look horrible. And I'm gonna be honest. I used ChatGPT for this. And I'm not advocating for this, by the way, but I guess it is kind of hard to pass up on. I didn't have them do any grip tape or anything, no trucks, no wheels, because I don't plan on riding this board. This board is quite literally just meant to make a wall art. You know, it's pretty common, pretty popular. Thank you, Matthew Sherman. All right, it's in the wrap, so it's gonna be a little bit reflective, but here we go. So yeah, like I said, I used ChatGPT to make this. It took about maybe 10, 20 minutes of talking with it to get it how I wanted it. And honestly, I say get it how I wanted it. I really didn't have anything in mind. I literally just like went for it because it just kind of popped in my head. I saw the website. It's called, God, I already forgot the name. Was it Board Pushers? Boardpushers.com. It's like one of the most popular ones. Oh, I got a sticker. Haha, they can go on the photo wall, or the sticker wall. But yeah, so I just wanted to make something cool, and I didn't really feel like, you know, bothering Zach to make something kind of goofy, because this really has no real purpose. Ah, Tyler's here. Cool, yeah, because I wanted to open this for chat, because I haven't even seen it yet. Looks pretty good. They did tell me the resolution wasn't the best, but honestly, I feel like it's pretty good. They definitely got like the graffiti effect down. That's really all I wanted with this board was I wanted something that said PCBros to put up in the shop that kind of had like a graffiti effect to it. I think it's pretty cool. I told ChatGPT to add like some circuitry. And like I said, I'm normally all for paying for good artwork. I don't know, it was one of those spur of the moments where I just really wanted it done. I really did not feel like waiting 5 days for Fiverr for someone to make this. And I also didn't feel like having to, like I said, commission Zach to do it. Like he'd do it for free, but I mean, I don't think he'd be able to throw something together like this in just a few minutes. It was more of just like, I want an instant gratification. And I'd say ChatGPT did his job. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, here's the front too for anybody who cares. Well, seems pretty good. It's got a couple layers to it too. Like it's not just like a single piece of wood, it's a multi-layer board. So yeah. Did you buy RAM memory balls? Huh? Turn the upstairs warehouse into a skate ramp. That'd go insane, yeah. Like a half pipe just coming off the walls there. That'd be kind of wild. Well, I'll leave this in the background for now. I'm gonna 3D print basically like a wall holder for it, by the way. Like that'll be like where the trucks go. Jackson must be bored today. No, honestly, I've had a pretty good day. I got a lot of, Daddy is live at night. That's a crazy statement. I got a lot done today. I cleaned my truck. I cleaned my mower. I also mowed the whole front yard. I basically mulched it. I needed to get all the leaves out of my neighbor's way. And then I spent the last couple hours actually, which I really wasn't trying to be here that long, but spent the last couple hours at the shop helping some customers, helping Jake with some customers and stuff. We bought a couple PCs off customers, a monitor, and then we sold a pretty high-end custom, so just helping out with that. But yeah, so we got this build here. I'll be interacting with chat as much as I can, but I am recording this for a video. That's why I'm doing this, by the way. I'm not that freaking bored or lonely where I'm like, I'm gonna come up here at 6 p.m. on a Saturday night to film. It's more just like I said, I had some other stuff to do here, and I've really been needing to do this short. It's been on my list for like over a month. So yeah, we're gonna attempt this. I don't know how well this is gonna go live streaming it, but does everyone have their Taco Bell ready? I'm saying. Oh, I forgot there's music in the background. Might have to pause the music chat. God, I also hate how inconveniently hot it is in here. We finally turned on our heat, but then we've kind of had like a heat wave. It's hit like 70s here, which did not think was gonna happen again this year. And because of that, it is pretty dim. Let me see how warm it is in this room. Yeah, inside this room, it's 76 degrees, chat. It is 76 freaking degrees in here. Where Matt? Well, Omar, this is not a morning stream, so Matt's not here. I wouldn't wish this upon him. All right, Mike. That's hot. Yeah, it's pretty damn hot. And I made them, normally I'd be wearing like shorts in this kind of weather, but it wasn't like super warm today, so I have jeans on, which is like making me even hotter, honestly. Hello, hello, testing. Testing. All right, we'll double mic for this one. 76, that's Satan level hot. It's 84 where I'm at. Where are you at? Down south? You got your crunch wrap ready? Do we really have some Taco Bell enthusiasts in here? This is wild. God, I have like the worst tripod here too. I'm like, do we have any other vertical tripods anywhere in this freaking office? Oh, you know what? I think the one that Zach uses actually. What's up, Anthony? All right, give me 1 second, chat. I'm gonna go grab this other tripod that I think can do vertical mode a little better. 1 second. You guys can actually probably still hear me, can't you? I'm going into the dungeon, Zach's office. Yeah, he does. Same tripod as us now. I don't know what this tripod's doing here, but I will attempt to use this one. The problem with the tripod I'm using is it's like broken, so it's in vertical, but it's like ultra vertical. Most of your PC parts arrived, and it's cool seeing the CPU and motherboard in person. Nice. Man, yeah, I remember, you know, back my first few builds, I remember it was like magical, you know, it was so cool getting to get your PC parts in for the first time. And everything felt like gold, you know? Oh, shit. Oh wait, this one's missing the plate. That works out great. Okay, let's put the plate on. Check. See, this one actually locks. This is perfect. Perfect. Fulfilling a PC, fulfilling a toasted PC order. Basically, yeah. That's basically exactly what is happening here. This one's got the crank on it. Hell yeah. I always gotta test out these cheap tripods though, like to make sure the camera's not gonna like freaking fall off. I like to give it a good shake test. Yep, that'll work. And now the fun part is when you're recording in vertical is trying to actually get like far enough out shots where like you can see everything, but you're also not like this shot here, I'm freaking showing like the whole ceiling, the whole floor. Sorry, Toasty Tech order? No. PCBros, we sell advertising. We're not retail. Get it straight, Kermie. Get it straight. Okay, that looks pretty straight. All right. All right, chat, don't forget, I'm recording a video, so if you think I'm talking to myself. Where's the Gorilla camera mount at? Over there, actually. We have a couple of those little, like, octopus tripods. All right. Short. Let's build a PC in under 3 minutes. Let's do that. Let's build a gaming PC together in under 3 minutes. Y'all ready for this viral short, chat? Recording, yes, recording in session, do not bother me. I wonder if I should do a part where I talk about, what's up, Emily? I wonder if I should do a part where I talk about compatibility, because this is a longer one. I got 3 minutes. Oh, Emily, you want to see the new board? For anyone just rolling in, too, you guys can see it. Check it out. Pretty cool. It's got some good gloss to it. Our studio lights really make it go crazy. No, we did not get the Baja Blast Pi. That would have gone crazy, but we did not really think about it in time, honestly. Probably for the best. Bajan Blast. Sick man late night build? Yeah, late night build. Let me turn on some music, actually. I guess I don't need to turn it off. Am I gonna sell that wrap? Sell the wrap? Oh, like the board? No, that's like I said, it was ChatGPT. That'd be pretty wrong to sell that, I think. It's not even made by our in-house graphic designer. All right, so I need to try to get this one to about 3 minutes, a little bit more in-depth build. Oh my goodness, thank you, Tool. We're at 18, oh wait, okay. I was gonna say 18 months, so that didn't seem right. We're at 78 months. Why does it only say 18 months of being tier 1? Did you like lose your subscription at some point? All right, you know what? I should record opening the motherboard box. Why not? All right. So the first thing we're going to do is open the motherboard box. In this case, we have a B760M, which is going to cover 12th through 14th gen Intel, but this build guide will be pretty good for just about any build out there. XVR is streaming what's today. This is a 14400F with a 5060 Ti. This is a customer's build, but I'm actually recording a short right now. So like I said, if you hear me like talking to myself, I'm actually talking to myself. All right. And me personally, I like using the motherboard box to actually build my PC on. Okay, let's do this angle here. Can't tell if this, I feel like this might be a little dark. For your order 16434, is it as upgraded as it can be or more upgradable? If so, what up to? Time slip, you're a sleeper, right? It's going to depend. I think that's going to be a, what is it, 8th gen? It's like with an 8th gen board, I think you can go up to, I think it is 8th gen. So you could get like an i7 in there if you wanted to. The 3050, honestly, is probably about the best card you're going to be able to get in there. Like, it's one of those things where I would run that build for as long as you can, and whenever you're ready to upgrade, I would sell that one. You know, get something more expensive. Oh, thank you for, did someone else just sub? Oh yeah, Terrible Rain. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. All right. And let's do this. So next up, you're going to open up your CPU, which I have the Intel i5-14400F, which is a 10-core, 16-thread processor, and it is in the clamshell right here. It does actually come with a stock cooler that is fairly adequate for it, but we're going to be upgrading it with a little bit of a nicer tower cooler, which I'll show you guys how to put on in just a minute. But first, let's put in our CPU. So the good news with this CPU is there's no pins, so you don't have to worry about really damaging any of those delicate pins, but you do have pins on the motherboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to push down and out on this latch right here. And then we can pull up our LGA 1700 slot cover. So you're going to notice that there is an arrow on the CPU. That arrow is going to also be here on our cover and on the metal part once it's revealed. And it also can only go in one way. There's going to be these little notches that line up with the CPU. Who just did that? Energy XP, thank you. So you're going to take those notches, line it up, and gently just drop your CPU in place. Now it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. You can always kind of nudge it with your fingers. Just try not to push down when you nudge it. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take this cover, and that plastic piece will likely pop off. You can just discard that. Sometimes it'll shoot out of the way. And then push down like that and over, and then boom, your CPU is installed. Yes, YouTube short recording in process. YouTube short recording in process, in session. Let's get a different angle for the RAM. We don't want the Zoomers' attention spans to get bored too quickly, chat. So we got to get them many different angles for much fun time. Have you watched Naruto? I actually, I mean, as a kid, I probably caught, glimpses of a couple episodes, but no, I really didn't watch any anime as a kid. I was much more into the weird stuff, like Full House and George Lopez, like Tim the Toolman Taylor, The Nanny. I watched a lot of, Nick at Night, which was, old shows, reruns, basically. Friends, stuff like that. But recently, I have been watching some anime. I actually just started Attack on Titan, and then I watched all of Chainsaw Man. There's only, one season? So I have recently kind of started getting into it. It's pretty good. All right. Next up, we have 32 gigs of RGB DDR5. This is Corsair Vengeance, and this can also only go in one way. You do have to be careful because a lot of these B660s and B760 motherboards can actually take DDR4 or DDR5, but it will be specified on the board. You're about to sell half of yours for the money? Like, talking like for RAM? All right. So with the RAM, we're going to be installing in slots 1 and slots 3, or 2 and 4, depending on what your board says. But typically the board will actually say, which you'll notice right there, it actually tells us which order to put it in. We have 2 sticks that's going to run in dual channel. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up that notch, so that notch right there, and then we're going to kind of evenly pressure, push straight down, and you should get a nice click. Now let's do the same thing for the other stick here. It's going to go in the exact same way. Like I said, we skip a slot. That's how it runs in dual channel. And you'll notice how all of the notches closed on their own. We didn't have to push down or anything. That means it is installed correctly. Anime just isn't my cup of tea. I like cartoons, teen, Nick comedy shows growing back up in the early 2000s. Oh, for sure. I mean, honestly, dude, I thought I would like hate, like, I mean, for a long time I was a big hater of anime. I wouldn't say I wasn't just like a standby, I was like an active like hater of it. And you know, I'm still kind of like in the boat where I'm like, I don't like overly glorify Japanese stuff, but like, and I've been a I've been a JDM guy for like, I mean, since I was 14 years old. So I don't get me wrong, I do like, you know, Japanese cars and stuff, but I never really was like, oh, anime, doing all the hand stuff, you know? But now more recently, like I said, I've just, cause I don't really watch a lot of TV or shows like at all really. But all my friends are into it. So I think that's what probably did it. Yeah, 2 mics for the ASMR people. Now I'm wearing 2 mics because I'm doing a YouTube short. That's why I'm here. I would not be doing this for fun right now, Emily, if that's what you're wondering. I did get Taco Bell. I was starving. I hadn't eaten all day. I'm so sorry. I really was trying to hold out until I got home, but I had a feeling that this was going to take forever. So I was like, man, I need to eat or it's going to be like bad. He made so much food. Are you talking about like the leftovers? The divorce where that's insane. See, at least I get food when I'm out. I get food when I'm out and like you couldn't even eat it anyways. I'll be home and you'll make food. I'm saying. I'll be home and you'll make food and you won't even give me any. Guys, help me. I'm just kidding. All right, let's do M.2 next. I'll make a cheese Sammy that you make fun of. Why would I make you one? Hey, I've grown to like those. You know this. I make fun of things I don't know. I was born this way. All right, what SSD we got? Nah, there it is. Guys, I'm tired of him. My flight was pretty good. I mean, in terms of like the flight, it was good. There was no issues, no delays really. I did the best I could. I definitely did not do amazing, but it wasn't like I was freaking like making noises like screaming or anything, but I definitely had like my moments where I was like just gripping the seat for dear life and shaking some, but you know, I made it. Yeah, Emily's also vegetarian. All right, next clip. All right, next up we're going to be installing our M.2 NVMe SSD. So we're going to actually be removing this heatsink here. Not all motherboards have heatsinks for their M.2s, but this one just takes 2 PH1 Phillips screws to remove. All right, now that we have that removed, we're going to take our M.2, and these actually go in at an angle. So they go in really easy like that, and then you notice it's going to be sticking up in the air. That's fine. We're going to take this peel here off. This is a thermal pad. So this thermal pad is how it helps make heat transfer so that our M.2 stays nice and cool. Am I doing this? Did I do this backwards? No, this is right. Okay. So now we're going to put our heatsink back on. And these screws do not take a lot of force. You almost don't even need a screwdriver for it. So just make sure you kind of gently put this back on. And you'll notice that one of those screws is actually what holds in the M.2. Sometimes they'll have their own screw, but in this case, it is just held in by the screw there with the heatsink. Make grilled cheese with salmon. Wow. That'd be a switch up. Thank you for the sub, Tichala. Cheese sandwich with a slice of maple turkey. Wow. I'm about to put one on his cars. What, a grilled cheese sandwich or a salmon? You're gonna put a salmon on my car? That'd be kind of wild. All right, it's cooler time. Let's change camera angle a little bit here. Now, I told you guys we were going aftermarket on the cooler. This is the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Pro, and every cooler does mount a little bit differently, but they all kind of have the same principle in mind, so let's go ahead and mount this one. LOL, vents. Are you talking about like putting fish in my freaking car vents? That would be diabolical. That would be something, chat. Let's not give anybody any ideas now. All right, let's open the cooler box. I always forget this is actually a pretty good little tower cooler. Nice little 120 mil fan. It's all over hardware. Duh. Chat? Did I just remove the mounting hardware and I just missed it? It's not here, right? Hold up. All right, chat. Did I just like remove the hardware and like lose it that quickly? It's very possible when I'm filming I get distracted, but because it's not in these boxes. Is it 5060 Ti 16 gig or 8? Wait, is that? Oh, it's the 8 gig. Yeah, it's the 8 gig. They're going to stop making the 16 gig pretty soon from what we've been hearing. Honestly, it's a pretty horrible bang for buck card because the 5070 exists. And yeah, it has less gigs of VRAM, but it is a much better deal. I'm confused, chat. You guys watched me open that and like, did I like misplace the hardware? Because I got fan. This fan, is it used? I don't think the cooler's used. But I'm like, did somebody freaking like buy this and like steal the freaking mounting hardware for real? Because yeah, unless I misplaced it, there's absolutely no mounting hardware in this thing. Bro, what the hell? No, I'm looking for the mounting hardware for the CPU cooler. Like all that was in the box was fan and heatsink. I mean, because here's the box. The box is empty. And then I had like these 3 pieces of cardboard. One had the fan in it, one had the actual heatsink in it, and then one of them was just like empty. And there's no hardware in here. So, okay, wow. I think someone may have done an Amazon swap-a-rooney or something. Very strange, okay. Well, let's go grab a different cooler. Sorry, I just realized Zach just sees that whole clip. He's probably like, what the hell? Maybe he'll watch that clip and see where I just misplaced it. I don't think I did though. That is so strange. All right. Even well, you know what? This little peel was on there a little bit loose. I just didn't really see any indication that it had been used. That's freaking wild. All right. Well, let me go see if I can find another one. I hope I can. Yeah, because I mean, the mounting's not anywhere on the table. I know I didn't lose this. Parts box needed. Parts box? What do you mean? What do you mean by that, boy? All right, let me go see if I can find another cooler real quick. You bought your kid a refurb Apple Watch, it showed up in an empty box, Packer stole it. Well, I will say, either the Packer stole it or Amazon is like notoriously bad about, so here's what'll happen. Let's say that cooler that I just opened, I want the mounting hardware out of it, or I just want the cooler. Take the cooler, put it on my PC, and then I go and send it back to Amazon saying it wasn't what I wanted, or there was something missing, it was damaged, whatever. Send it back to Amazon. A lot of times Amazon will literally just resell the product. I don't know what's up with that, but like, because we get so many of that shit, so much of that shit. I saw your message, Tyler. I'll go see. I'm gonna see if we just have like a black one or not. It's very dark back here, chat. I probably could have turned on the warehouse light, but alas. Oops. All right, the good news is we have the exact same cooler back here. All right, take two. That's what I got. This one's missing the mounting hardware. I'm gonna freak out. Tyler coming through. No, that's what I was saying. That box I just opened, it didn't look used or opened or anything, but there was like no mounting hardware in it. I don't know. I don't question things too much, you know? Let's try this again. Yeah, okay, yeah, see? This one, chat, all the mounting's right here. The other one just didn't have it in it. I don't know what happened. All right, so you're gonna notice when you have a tower cooler, you're usually gonna get a box or bag of hardware, so you can go ahead and set that down. And then you're going to get typically 1 or 2 120mm fans, sometimes smaller or bigger depending on what cooler you get. And then you're going to get the actual tower itself. This is a pretty average sized 120mm tower cooler that will definitely do the job. So we also just went ahead and took off the peel. There's usually always going to be a peel that either covers the thermal paste that's pre-applied or covers the copper and aluminum to make sure that it stays nice and scratched. It's nice and scratched. To make sure that it doesn't get scratched. So this one does not come with thermal paste pre-applied. It actually comes with a tube of Cooler Master thermal paste. And we'll do the paste last. Now, depending on whether you went with like AM4, AM5, or LGA 12, 1700, you're gonna get a lot of different mounting, but don't be too intimidated. Once you've built a few of these, it becomes pretty simple, but before then you can just read some instructions or watch a video like this. So with LGA 1700, I typically know that these always get adjusted as far as they can go. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to line up, there we go. You're gonna line up those screw holes there, just like that. Sometimes they actually have adhesive on them. This one doesn't, so we kind of just make sure that it stays in place. And a lot of times they'll come with little standoffs that will actually screw in ahead of time. But with this cooler, it's a little bit different. You're actually going to screw these on to the cooler and then screw it on to the actual motherboard. It's a lot of, I use the word screw a lot there, chat. So that is going to be, yep, these ones here. All right. Here's our little screws. So with this Hyper 212, we're going to be using these tiny little screws here. We just have 2 of them, and you can see there's 1 hole in each side of the bracket. Let's move this out of the way. The real question is, am I doing this? Yep. So we're going to take the metal bracket and actually install it on this side here, and you'll notice that threaded hole will line up just like that. So once again, we're going to be taking a PH1 screw and just like that, we're going to screw in each one. So we just have 2 to do. Can I get a free PC? Absolutely not. You think Tyler's gonna give you a free PC? All right, now we're doing the other side. So once you're done installing, your cooler should look something like this. Like I said, every cooler is definitely different when it comes to installation, but this is how most of the newer Hyper 212s are. Now for thermal paste, since this CPU is rectangular, I normally like to kind of do a long line down the middle. And depending on how the consistency of your thermal paste is, like this stuff's kind of a little bit thicker, I like to add a little bit more of it. If it's really runny, you don't really need as much because it'll spread pretty nice. And then normally I kind of like to get the lower corners as well. That's just my personal preference on this style of CPU. If it was a square CPU like a Ryzen, I'd probably just do 3 small lines kind of in the middle. But that's just how I like to do this one, and I know it spreads pretty well. Make sure that the cooler, whenever you're installing it, if you have any text or anything, you're going to want the text facing down the motherboard. Or if you just copy this guide, it should be pretty straightforward. So now we're going to gently put the cooler on. We're going to try to line up these screw holes. So the best thing to do is opposing corners with really any cooler and really anything you're building with a PC. So we're going to start this one corner a little bit, and then we're going to go to the opposite corner here. We're going to get this one started. And we're just going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to go to another corner. And then opposite of that corner. And that is how we're going to make sure that we get even pressure on our cooler so that the CPU doesn't get pushed really hard on one side or the other. And now we can go ahead and tighten these until they bottom out. And once they bottom out, you don't need to go any tighter. You're good to just leave it there. That's a really weird way of saying that. He's gonna come home to a cheese salmon knuckle sandwich. That's insane. Cheese and salmon knuckle sandwich. All right. Now let's move the camera up a little bit. Yeah. So now at this point, the motherboard is almost complete. We have our M.2 installed, our RAM. We just need to put the fan on the cooler. And typically with a single 120mm fan, you're gonna put it on this side because most of the time your case is gonna be exhausting out the back where the I/O shield is. You try to take the wire of the 5070 Ti, can get the RAM wire pulled out of the graphics card. Didn't want to use too much force. Any tips or tricks? So what is that? You're saying you're worried you're gonna pull something out? Try to take the wire out of your 5070 the other night to upgrade your RAM. Couldn't get the wire to pull out of the graphics card. Oh, so you got a 16 pin that you're having trouble with. Just make sure that you're pushing down on the release, like the little clip, but you might have to kind of push and then kind of wiggle. Pull and wiggle. Sometimes they just get really stuck in there and it takes a little bit of force. So for the cooler fan, I recommend making sure that your cables are facing down so that you can keep them as hidden as possible. And then most tower coolers are going to use these almost like paper clips. They're kind of flimsy, so just make sure you don't bend them too hard. But you're going to install them where the screws normally go, just like that. And I recommend kind of making sure that the cooler sits, or the fan sits flush with the cooler, really just for looks, honestly. Side shot. And now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, making sure that we're not installing the fan crooked. Oh, shit. And just like that. So now our fan's installed. It's probably a good time to go ahead and plug in the fan. So you're going to find CPU fan. They're always going to be labeled a little bit different depending on your board. This one says CPU fan 1, CPU fan 2, so we're going to install it in 1. Really doesn't matter which one you install it to, but just keep in mind if you don't install it in one of these, you probably will get an error saying that your CPU fan is not detected. Motherboard done. Whew, chat, it is so hot in here. Let's see if the temp's gone up at all. Oh yeah, 77 now. That's what sucks about this freaking room is once once like you close a door or like have a PC going at all, like, literally the only PC in here is the streaming PC right now. And it is already warmed up another degree. I'm like actually starting to sweat. It's insane work, chat. You saw a bit of yellow when you plugged it into the power supply? Are you talking about the like the yellow indicator for ATX 3.1? Yeah. It's a good little indicator. No, it doesn't smell like booty cheeks, luckily. Jackson, your 57 XT died today. Is it worth upgrading to the 5070? I mean, that's a big upgrade, yeah. It sucks that your card died. All right, let's get a part talking about the case. Whoa, whoa, Nilly, what just happened? We got a sub from Anonymous Gifter giving out 1 sub. Thank you for that. Also, Metal B, I don't know if I caught your sub, but thank you for 11 months. Appreciate you, bruh. All right. Move this off to the side. So for our case, we went with the micro ATX case, which is definitely the way to go if you're building in a micro ATX motherboard. That means your board is going to fill out the case really nicely. In this specific case is the Montech Air 100 AirGB, and we like this case because it comes with some AirGB fans. Case open time. Oh, good evening, by the way, whoever said good evening. It already went off the thing. No cameraman, so is it really worth keeping Jonah knowing what we know? I'm gonna tell him he said that. Is it worth keeping him knowing what we know? What do we know? What have we learned about him or that we didn't need him or something? 5060 Ti 8 gig, damn, y'all really must be on a budget. No, the 5060 Ti 16 gig is such a ripoff. At that point, it's like I just said that a minute ago. That's when you should really go with the 5070. It's like, yeah, it has 4 less gigs of VRAM, but it performs a good amount better. And it is literally like the same price sometimes, or maybe like 50 bucks more at most. That is true, yeah. 8 gigs of RAM is gonna be looking pretty good in 2025, I think. Just replace Jonah with Ben. No one would notice. No, no one probably would know. I think some people would know. Their personalities are pretty different. But in a way, they're also very similar. You should get a white pony tattoo. Funny enough, I don't know if, I mean, the horse is okay. The horse looks cool, but I would almost maybe get the owl from, what album is Diamond Eyes? But the white pony one's definitely pretty well recognized. I think the owl's a little bit cleaner, a little nicer looking. Oh shit, we've been recording the whole, oh wait, no, I'm not recording, the battery's dying. We gotta go OG, replace Joner with Tim. Which Tim? Like Too Easy Tim? It's so random. Battery replacement time, chat. Battery been replaced. I love the skull and the roses in the self-titled album. Yeah, that one is really cool too. That's the song that, what is it, Minerva was on, I think? A couple other bangers. All right. So here's our Montech Air 100. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take off both side panels, and I like to do that with any case I'm building with because we're gonna need to get to the front and the back to run cables. Now would also be a good time to get anything out of the case, like your air filter, dust filter if you have one, and also there's usually going to be a bag of screws inside of the back of the case. Sometimes it'll be in like a nice cardboard box as well. Meow, meow. Minerva's from the album, one of my favorite Deftones albums. Interesting. Yeah, there's I don't know if that's typically a lot of people's favorites or not. Do power supply. Power supply. Replace Jonah with Tom? Okay, I can agree with that. Replacing Jonah with Tom would go crazy. Tom is the real OG? No, he is. Yeah, like Tom is probably, yeah, Tom's definitely the oldest business owner in the building. He doesn't own a business now, but he did for a long time. I think it was about 30 years. So you guys put some respect on that name. I'm just kidding. But your all-time favorite? Okay, see now, this is culture right here. Looking at Adrenaline. Yeah, I like a lot of the Adrenaline songs. I really do. Like Deftones is, well, clearly if you can't tell by the shirt, it's my favorite band. It has been for the last couple years actually. And one of the reasons I like them so much is because I've never had a band, like I listen to a lot of music, but every single thing I listen to, I always end up finding a few songs that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, or I find the select few that I do like, and then when anything else comes on, I'm just like, it doesn't sound that great. For whatever reason, Deftones, I just like every single one of their songs. But my favorites would probably be like, I really like Around the Fur, My Own Summer, you know, obviously. I really like Elite. That's a good, like if you're wanting some really heavy, a lot of screaming. Engine number 9, you know, stuff like that. It's like you with Dave Matthews Band. Ugh. Dave Matthews Band's all right. I mean, hey, they're legendary. Not my cup of tea, really. Like some Marching Ants or something, you know. Yeah, Toasty Bros is 11 years old. We started in September of 2014, so we just actually passed 11 years old. Yep. Yeah, we already had our 10th anniversary. That was last year. It's freaking crazy. All right, let's show these people how to put in a power supply, which is right here. Next up, we're going to be installing the power supply. These are usually just one size if they're called ATX. And there's also some other sizes like SFX and stuff, but in a micro ATX case, most of the time you're going to be fitting a standard ATX power supply. This one right here is non-modular, and you can tell because all the cables are attached. You can't disattach any of them. And we're going to go ahead and undo the zip tie. And don't worry, we'll be hiding a lot of these cables that we're not going to need because you're not going to need about half of these cables. As crazy as that sounds, right, chat? Imagine explaining that to someone building a PC. Yeah, you're not going to need like half of these cables, by the way. They'd be like, huh? What do you mean? But what if I want to use them? And that's where you say, that's too damn bad. So to install our power supply, and this is going to be applicable for most cases, we're actually going to install the fan facing down towards the bottom, which might sound kind of crazy, but you'll notice that this case has airflow right here that basically keeps your power supply on its own circuit so that you're not putting heat straight into the graphics card or pulling air from the graphics card. So you're going to get your power supply in, and you're going to kind of have to hold it in place while you screw it, but it should look something like this, and there's going to be 4 coarse thread screws. You think you need more cable? Nah. Yeah, that'd be a funny video trying to use every single cable. That'd be really tough. Like, but that would be funny. We'd have to just add a lot of stupid shit. We'll do this from this angle here. Oh no, I can't turn anymore that way. There we go. I feel like this still feels really dark. What is the freaking... We're at 125 F4. Oh, but someone put on minus, is that -2? Oh, okay, that's auto. Huh. Interesting, I don't know. All right, back to this. So these are going to be PH2 screws, and you'll notice that these are a pretty coarse thread screw. So we're going to line up the 4 screw holes on the back of the power supply here. And these ones may take a little bit more force to screw in. They're not quite as delicate. Check, we're looking at my back. All right, and last screw is in. All right, power supply is good to go. Whoop. I'm gonna have fun, he trying to condense this down into 3 minutes. Maybe it won't be that hard. Big back. All right. Whew. Chat, I'm overheating. I need to make sure I keep up my water intake. Yeah, I know. My black shirts. That's what sucks, is black's like my favorite color and my favorite color to wear, but it is so bad with how many freaking animals we have. All right. So normally right after we get the power supply installed, this is when I like to install the motherboard, but the first thing we need to do is install our I/O shield. Now some motherboards have these built in, but a lot of them don't. So this one is, typically I/O shields are always gonna go the same way. Your audio ports are always gonna be towards the bottom. So we're gonna take this, and sometimes these can be really finicky to get in place. So you basically have to push really hard. And there we go. So that one's installed. Like I said, if it doesn't go in perfectly, you can kind of use the board, and once you screw it in, it will be held in place. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our board, and it's going to line up with the I/O shield, and of course these screws that we're going to be putting in just a second. Sometimes, yes, yeah, that's very true with M.2s. You got to cut yourself a little bit in order to learn. She's gonna hate me too because, you know, I'm talking to you guys while I'm filming this, and if you ever edited a video, which I don't know how many of you guys have, but when you edit for a long time, one of the best ways to edit is by looking at audio waves. So like whenever, you know, for example, when I edit a video and I'm scrubbing the timeline and I'm trying to find places to snip so I can get to the next part that's relevant, usually I'm looking at the audio waves, and whenever you see like, you know, nothing, or you see just little blips in the audio wave, you know, you can skip past it, you can cut it, so that whenever you see long audio waves where it's up, you know, that's when you can actually stop and watch, because it's like, oh yeah, that's important, they're talking. But I'm talking so much to you guys while I'm streaming here that he's just gonna constantly be seeing audio waves, and it's just gonna be like bullshit. Blue on Black was a banger back in the day. We're talking about like blue on black, tears on the river, a precious trouble and it don't mean much. Blue on black. When did that song come out? I don't even know who writes that song, in all honesty. I feel like it's someone really obvious, or maybe it's not obvious at all. Just make sounds the entire video. That's basically what I've been doing. That's what I'm saying, is me hecka confused. Like the most annoying sound from Dumb and Dumber. Like the oh wait, no, Dumb and Dumber. What's the most annoying sound? I don't know why I thought Beavis and Butthead. Whole stream of Jackson singing 2000s copyrighted rock. You can make a VOD channel. We do have one. It's called Toasty Clips. It's basically our VOD channel. You'll send it. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be insane if I was ever able to get copyright for my singing. I would look at that as like a compliment. All right, I think I'm about to have to do something really freaky here. I think I'm gonna have to put this tripod on the table in order to be able to See the shot well, chat. Things, the sacrifices we make for you all. Okay, let's see if we can get this in a way that. Hey. He's getting artsy. I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. So the next thing we're going to do is screw in the motherboard. So typically you're going to have to kind of put some pressure on the motherboard against the I/O shield. We're going to be using fine thread screws here. So these are kind of like the opposite of the screws that we use for the power supply. And you know, you should be able to tell the difference pretty easily, but with a fine thread screw, you're going to be looking at a very fine thread. They're much closer together, much closer pitch. And with the Micro ATX board, you're probably going to have about maybe like 6 to 8 to screw in, just depending on how many of the holes are actually populated with the standoff. You'll notice like these holes here, for example, they do not have standoffs. You can add those if you want, but you really don't have to. And the most important thing is to make sure that you don't have extra standoffs that are behind the board that don't align with the hole. Because if that happens, you can short out your motherboard from the metal making contact to the case. From the metal making contact to the case, that's close enough. They'll get the idea. Jonatron. Jonatron 5000. Meep, boop, 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 boop. And just like that, we got all of our motherboard screws in. Just like that, chat. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. Freaking thing spring loaded. All right, now it's time to start plugging stuff in. And now for the fun part, we're gonna be plugging things in. So this step is gonna be one of the longer steps, and honestly, it's probably good to watch some of the more extended videos on building a PC, because we're gonna do this really fast. Jesus Christ. Freaking cable, all right. So first up is the 24 pin. That's the main power for the motherboard. Really having to do some reach around here, chat. Next up is the Next up is the CPU 8 pin. You guys see the angle I'm having to hit for this? Oh God, I'm sweating. There we go. Whew. Yeah, that was horrible. And that's it. And that's all the important stuff. All right, let's do HD audio. Next up is our HD audio. USB 2 header. Power switch, okay. We're gonna be doing our front panel next. This one I definitely recommend looking up a Google image on how to do. Actually, no, here. Next up is our front panel. Make sure you follow the diagram down below. Zach, you know what to do. He's gonna come to me like, what do I do? I'm confused. Power switch. Hard drive LED. Power LED plus and minus. Now I recommend plugging in any fan headers and ARGB headers that you may need. Oh, that was almost close. I almost soiled the build chat. Soiled it. Oh, an ARGB or a freaking USB 3. Next up, if you have it, your USB 3.0 header. Boom. Boom. About to say it tells you on the board, makes the words up. What do you mean makes the words up? Now, depending on your case and what type of RGB components you have, you may have some things to plug in the back. Like for example, I do need one SATA power to power our ARGB hub in the back here, so we're gonna plug that in. And then the last thing we're going to be running is our graphics card power. So with our 5060 Ti, we're using a single 8-pin. Oh my God. Golly. All right. Whew. Now it'll be slightly less broke after a bill and saving felt. Isn't that a good feeling, chat, whenever you get like your bills paid for like the week or the month or whatever it is that you do? And even if you don't have money left, it's just like good knowing that you got it paid. What's up, big boy? What's up? 5060 Ti. And for our last step, we're going to be installing our RTX 5060 Ti. This is a 2-fan, 2-lane graphics card that just requires a single 8-pin for power. This one's kind of in a weird spot. Normally they're going to be towards the back. It's like really weird, actually. It's one of those, no, it's not one of the ones with like the short boards. I need to run my PCIe in a different spot. Man, that was sorry to get through too. We're just gonna unplug these things to make this a little bit easier this time. Oh no, the power supply's in the way. Fuck! Chat's got your back. What's happening? Is bullying happening in here, chat? Are we ganging up on someone? Because if so, I want in. You have 4 busted laptops on your dresser? We have like 30 at PCBros.tech, so we can't take any more. And boop. Oh my god, dude, come on. God, I love how freaking small some of these freaking case companies make the cuts, dude. It's ridiculous. All right, need to reinstall USB 2. And the fan header. Back from Phoenix so soon. Yeah, we were only there for a couple days. We got there Friday at, it was like 10 p.m. And then, or not Friday, we got there Wednesday at like 10 p.m. So we actually worked here, left the office at about 3, got to the airport, and then after like, you know, waiting and all that stuff, yeah, we got there at like 10 that time, or there, actually no, it was earlier, never mind. It would have been like 10 our time when we got there. We actually got there, I think it was like 8 that time. Or maybe it was later. Oh, I got my memory. Anyways, we got there Wednesday night, and then we just got back in last night at about 11 p.m. So basically we did late afternoon flights for both. All right. So once you get all the peels off of your graphics card and it's good to install, typically you're going to have a little cover that you're gonna have like a thumb screw that you can go ahead and move out of the way. Get this a little more towards the camera here. And then you're gonna have some break off tabs. Sometimes they're screw in, but just make sure that you do break off the right ones. I can just tell by looking that we're gonna need to break off the top one and the one right below that. God, these breakoffs are kind of vicious on the Montec case. All right. So once you get those tabs broken off, we're going to be using the top M.2 slot, which is going to be this one. I said M.2, oh my God. So once you get those 2 tabs broken off, you're going to use the top PCIe slot right there. That's going to be the one with the most bandwidth. So we're going to go ahead, take our GPU, and we're going to line everything up. So make sure you line things up before you start pushing. So I can see here that I'm lined up there. I'm right over top of the slot. Oh, I was not over top of the slot. All right. So I can see that I'm lined up in the front here. I'm on top of the slot. And then you push down and you'll usually hear a little click once your graphics card has seated. Potentially. Nope, those aren't hitting. What am I hitting here, chat? Or am I hitting nothing? What's going on here? What am I doing wrong here? It's like my first time building a PC, chat. Like, what? Jesus Christ. I feel like a chiropractor. That was an aggressive click. But we know it's in. All right, so before we screw in the GPU, we can go ahead and get our power in. Like I said, this one's kind of in a weird spot, but basically we're gonna take our 8-pin. It'll only go in one way. And it'll click in place, make sure that the latch is all the way down. This one is, here we go. So now we can go ahead and pick this back up, and we're going to be using 2 more power supply screws, 2 more coarse thread on the back here to screw in our GPU. Yeah, I'm making a short right now. And I am building solo, obviously, so I'm probably building a little bit different than Matt and I normally would when we're together. Honestly, when I build solo, I always do something slightly different than like I did the previous time. I'm not very big on like repetition. Holy crap, dude. Chad, I'm getting hot in this room. And I'm starting to PMS. There we go. Whoa! Thank you for the 100 bits. How do I avoid negative pressure collapse in a small cube mod rotated 90 degrees on exhaust fan partially obstructed drive cage you can't remove? I mean, at that point, you're just gonna have to be cutting things, making room for like a new fan cutout if you can. Realistically, though, are you having temperature issues? Yeah, thank you for the bits. Because that's the other thing. If you're not having temp issues, then don't overthink this. Just run it. Have fun. Okay. All right, so now that we have those 2 screws in place, we can go ahead and screw back down our little cover there, just like that. And now, it is time for the cable management chat. Break's over, back to work I go. Have fun. Have fun at work. I don't know what negative pressure collapse is or what's even possible in the case. That's funny. Basically, you have like positive and negative pressure. And honestly, I really can't get into the science on them, so it's a Google question. Now the last step is going to actually be cable managing. So it is a good time to go ahead and turn on the PC if you want to make sure everything works, but we know this is going to work. Freaky, yeah, beat chat. Whoa, is that more bits? Ah, sub. Oh, that's kind of random. We didn't even just get a sub. It just decided to give us the goal now. Thanks, Twitch. Or Stream Elements, whoever gives that. How much you want to bet this thing don't work, chat? Shove extra cables. We shove all the cables that we don't need in the hard drive cage. Where do you guys put your extra cables, or do you just cut them off? You know, back in the day, Matt and I really did do that sometimes. If we had a power supply that just had like way too many extra cables and there wasn't like a spot to cable manage them in like a basement, as long as it was safe, we'd just cut them off and then just heat shrink them. It was a valid method back in the day. Haven't done that in a long time though. Jesus, hard drive cage is like really in the way. All right, I think that's gonna be good enough. Grab a pair of snips. Loch Ness Monster? Boom. Boom, baby. Pretty ugly towards the bottom, but it is of satisfactory for me. All right, side panel. Ah! And there goes side panel screw. Oh my God, it rolled under the table, chat. Oh! Getting too old to be doing maneuvers like that, guys. One day I go down, I may not come back up, you know? Type shit. Back panel on. All right, Chad, who's ready for the last step of seeing if it works? It's honestly the most scary step. You notice this Girl Scout was 8 stories tall and was a crustacean from the Proterozoic era? What are we talking about? I swear, chat, this is why I can't turn my head away from y'all for too long, because you start talking about things like conversations, I'm like, what is even happening? It's from South Park. You know, South Park's a show that I've never really been able to get behind. I see clips of it. I know that it's like pretty funny. I think that like, and I know that like part of the appeal is the stupid voices, but like I hate the voices. I'm a firm believer that I think Family Guy is way better. I'm sorry, but I think Family Guy is better. I just think that they do like a better job when they do like the era relevant comedy of like actually making fun of it. I feel like with South Park, they just talk in really stupid voices and make fun of everything, and I'm like, eh. Now for the best part of building any PC, turning it on for the first time. Let's see if it works. Ah, there we go. We got a built and ready to game gaming PC. Yay. Yay, chat. This old man keeps getting harassed for $3.50 and it's always the Loch Ness Monster. Huh. Is that where Tree Fitty comes from? Because I know I've seen Tree Fitty before, you know? All right, let's go ahead and get this footage transferring. Actually, I'll do that in a minute. I should probably send you guys off on a raid first. I got this thing defaulted to such a cool looking purple. Let's see if we can get some RGB in the club. Hell yeah. She ain't bad looking, chat. She ain't bad. Yes, like I said, this build is for a PCBros.tech customer. This person bought one of our premium streaming PCs, which does feature a 14400F with a 5060 Ti 8 gig. It's definitely a very good combo to get into. Really, this will play any game at 1080p while streaming it. And believe it or not, even with its 8 gigs of VRAM, you can get into some light 1440p while streaming it. I know because I've done it before. This PC, if I'm just off the top of my head, because we had to change pricing a lot. What is it, maybe around 1,000? Is that right, Tool? Maybe like 1,100? Could be a little more, honestly. We've had to raise pricing because 32 gigs DDR5 dual channel. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to do that cheap. All right, so our premium streamer right now is, actually, yeah, more than I thought, $1,275. And with that, like this is the base model. You get the 5070 Ti 8 gig, 5060 Ti, not the 5070 Ti. That'd be like the price of the build. 5060 Ti 8 gig, 1 terabyte NVMe M.2 SSD, 32 gigs of DDR5. We do 5200 megahertz or better, but realistically, it's like always 6000 megahertz. It's RGB as well. And we give you at least an Intel B760M. We give you a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply or better. Pretty much everything that we saw on the website, by the way, is always going to be or better. We give you like the minimum specs that it could be, but a lot of times, like if availability is kind of scarce or we just need to get a build out quick, we'll end up upgrading you to like a better part, which is definitely a cool little advantage of going with PCBros over many other companies. A lot of other companies will literally downgrade you and just hope you don't notice. Like, this person's too dumb to probably notice that. We'll just swap it out. But yeah, for the whole month of November, chat, for anyone who doesn't know, PCBros is, well, for one, we're doing a sweepstakes. You get automatically entered every single order that you place. And there is no purchase necessary. You can just simply send us a letter. There's more information on our website on how to do that. A little bit complicated. You got to send it in a specific format to a specific address. Only 1 entry per household when it comes to the letter. But then when it comes to placing your orders, however many orders you place, like separately, is going to be entries. So it is pretty legit. But yeah, if you buy anything in the month of November, that'll enter you in that, and you get a free mouse pad, a PCBros XXL mouse pad, not some little rinky-dink one. It is a like full desk pad that'll fit your keyboard and your mouse, and you also get a cleaning kit. It's one of our custom PCBros cleaning kits. So it's about a $40 value included for free for the month of November. Good little deal. Not shaving the lower regions. I think you're thinking of No Nut November. They usually don't have the whole lot to do with shave. Shavings. You guys want some good shavings on your PCs? You probably don't want that, do you? But yeah, Chad, I hope you enjoyed this random little stream. I know I didn't really even know if I was going to be doing this today. I know you guys didn't know. You guys had no freaking clue. I caught you guys having no clue. How embarrassing. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed. I'm going to find someone to raid so that I can actually clean up and I'm not just like leaving you guys no one. We will be live tomorrow, don't forget, for our Sunday gaming stream. That happens actually around the same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So for anybody who would like to watch some gaming, we'll probably be doing Apex. We've been having fun with the new season. We've actually had a lot of good games too. We're actually like climbing. But that's usually how it goes. We usually climb at first and then it starts to just go downhill. All right, let's see. Who is live? Caught wed-handed, chat. I'll post the pic in Discord. Sick. Let's see, not live. Oh, Christopher E, what's he doing? Playing Minecraft. Yeah. Christopher E's live chat. Benchmark where mind meets. Never heard of that. Oh, where wind meets.
Okay. Holy diamonds.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. What's up, Toot Nugget? What a name. Wow. All right, chat. We're gonna raid Christopher Yee. He's an OG along with us, Hey, if you guys haven't seen it, we actually did a Linus Tech Tips video years ago with Christopher Yee and Linus Tech Tips. We were versing Christopher Yee. Oh, we have a guide the raid. Are they live still? Sonar Chief? Bro, why did someone literally just did that 2 minutes ago? God dang it. I really wanted to raid Christopher Yee. Well, let me check out this person. I gotta make sure that they're legit. Make sure they're not doing nothing naughty. Oh, this is World of War Thunder. All right, you know what? We're with Sonar Chief. We will give him the views. All right, guys, we're gonna raid Sonar Chief instead. They're actually playing War Thunder. We need to cancel that raid. Oops, yep, that's the guy's name. Don't wear it out. All right, we're gonna be raiding Sonar Chief. Yeah, words are hard, exactly. But yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. for the gaming stream. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed this random pop-up stream. Bye-bye.
Oh, Toasty, wow. Yeah. Thank you for such a monster raid. Mods, can we get a shout out, please? Oh, what the? There are enemies literally sitting right beside blueberries, and they are fucking not marking, not doing